You are tuned into the Breakfast Jam with your girl, Mary Malova. We are finishing with the last part of the three series, Women in Leadership. It has been quite an empowering um, week as we have phenomenal women in both business and in life coming into the studio and telling the stories from the book The Way She Leads. We've been covering it throughout the week, and we have the authors, published authors, in studio. Must be nice to say that. um, thank you so much for coming into the show, ladies. I know we've woken you up early, gotten you up out early, but at least you made it to the studio, and it's such an honor to have you here. I'll allow you to introduce yourselves. We'll start with Elishibah.
Great. Thank you so much, Myra, for having us. My name is Elishibah Msengeti Poriot. I am fortunate to be one of the co-authors on this book, The Way She Leads. By way of introduction, I'm an educator. I'm a life skills and leadership facilitator, and that is my passion work, and that's I think that's my vocation. But I also am a programs management specialist, so I work at Kengen PLC as head of programs at Kengen Foundation. Yeah, that's in a nutshell.
Right.
I'm also a wife, a mother of two, and very blessed to have this opportunity to tell my stories alongside these amazing women.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
All right.
My name is Sianto Kekayaya. God is the shepherd of my soul. I can say that I'm a very loving person. I'm result oriented, and also I love people. In terms of my work, what I do, I help organizations to transform their sales teams into high productive teams, and through that the organizations are able to grow their sales revenue. So I usually create a win-win situation for the employees and also for the organizations.
Right.
Thank you so much, Myra, that you've invited us to be here. It's such a delight. I'm so excited,
Right.
as you said, and also I'm sure my fellow author, she's also very excited that we are now published. And yeah, we are here to give our story and believing that it's going really to, even if it's going to change just one person,
Right.
then we would have done our work.
How does it feel to say I'm a published author?
Wow. It feels like something that was so far-fetched, but
Right.
now it is here with me, like, touching this book. Like, my story is out there. It's no longer within my space.
Right.
And it has now gone to a place of impact, because once what you know leaves your surrounding to out there, then it means you're having an impact to people, and what I love about this book is that is different from other books is because it has been written by several authors. So I look at it like, a supreme pizza, whereby there's so many
Right.
flavors on it. There is Hawaiian, you'll have a bite of it. There is, if you're a meat lover, there is meat for you. If there's chicken lover, there's chicken for you. So each and every chapter gives you a biting of a lesson or an experience that is actually going to move you to the next place in terms of your leadership journey, or even just in terms of your, personal and professional development. So it's such a very powerful book for someone to just have a read on.
How does it feel for you, Elishibah?
It's quite surreal. This week, one of my friends from high school bought the book.
Oh, wow.
So she sent me a photo of the page that has the authors written,
Right.
and I got teary-eyed just seeing that, because I think it's many people dream of writing, and it seems like such a far-fetched goal or far-fetched dream. I certainly have wanted to write for a long time.
Yeah.
And had hoped that I would, maybe by the time I turned 40. And serendipitously, that's happened this year.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was very blessed and happy about that.
Right.
And I think for me, it's also a testament to some of the dreams that we have. Sometimes, like we can dare to dream, but also dare to begin. So when Dooso offered us this opportunity, or Zion Power offered us this opportunity, one of my goals had been to write a book by myself. But I said, what if this is the way that I can start to write, and how amazing that I can do it with other women, other people. So it feels surreal and feels it's a very humbling experience. I think the excitement that everyone has had around it is actually even more humbling.
Right.
I think it's made it even more real. And for me, the bigger question now is to what end. So we've written this book, and it is clearly opening other doors and opportunities for us. And I'm asking myself, and I know the other ladies are too, to what end? What are we going to use this platform for? Because it has to be bigger and greater than just publishing a book. There are many published books. Some of them are maybe not so great,
Right.
but the point has to be, what does it lead to? What does it open up for? And how can it impact lives? How can it impact others? Beyond anything, I think it's a reminder to all of us that it can be done.
Right.
That it can be done.
First of all, I think you're the first one who's brought up that question, what next? Because we never think about it. It's like, you've done it, it's there, it's immortalized in pages, but then how have you had a thought about that? And what were your thoughts around it? I'm curious.
So one of the what next is the conversations. So exactly what we're doing today. When we got this opportunity to come and be on radio, I said, I just said yes to doing a chapter in a book. But when we speak here, many more people are listening to us. So one of the what next is hopefully more conversations and greater impact, greater reach. And also, hopefully more summits and conferences and webinars, and even maybe a road show in the end, where we go and we speak to people, and we speak to women and girls and men, because again, the book is written from a women's perspective, but the target audience is everybody, is men and women. And what conversations can come out of the book is very important. And then I think the other thing for me is that it has given me the impetus, maybe, or the courage or the belief that I can document even more parts of my story and of my experiences for the good of others, and hopefully inspire others to also document their stories. So any of our friends or family members or colleagues or anybody who's seeing that a book has been done, they definitely are now, I hope, thinking, what if I could also publish my story somewhere? And it doesn't have to be in a book, it could be in a blog, it could be a docu-series. I mean, now with the media the way it's going, you have multiple ways of telling your story to the world, for greater good. For greater good.
Actually, Amazon has now made it possible. I was reading about this like a few days ago. They're very possible for you to be able to publish your journals and get paid for it. I think about $10, and you can do like about 3 or 4 a week or whatever. And the possibility has been made even greater, as you were saying. And even for Sianto, you were saying, Sianto, you were saying that once you started writing, you realized you had more to say.
Yes.
And I don't know, were you given a set number of pages, or you get given a set number of numbers like in school? Like, and how much more did you feel like you wanted out there?
Yeah. It's maybe I can just go back to how it started. When you're told to write this book, immediately imposter syndrome visits you.
Right.
You just start saying, I don't think I can write this book. I don't have the content. Until the time now you start writing.
Yeah.
You find out that you actually have more to say. You know, a journey is life is a journey, and we go through life experiences, the lessons that cannot actually be captured within 3,500 words, because that was the limit that we had. I remember when I gave out my article, it was more than that. I was just wishing you could accept it, but of course I had to go back to the required number.
Right.
But I like that, because what it has done, it has actually planted a seed for me that I still have more to share. I still have more to, you know, to share with society that can impact people. Even if, for me, I have this philosophy that even if my story can just impact one person, that is a changed person. That is one changed person, and that makes life a better place to be. So it has given us a platform, the way we usually say that a place, you've been given a table, a place to sit on. This is a place of writing that Zion Pearl Publishers has given to the ladies. And it's like it has given us a yes to continue moving forward. Not just to write another book on your own, but also to engage in these conversations. We've been holding webinars, we've been really drubbing it out through, webinars, and also now that we are here at Icon Radio, and we are planning to be out there, because our story will not be a story of impact if it remains with us. So we are really planning to be out there and also to celebrate ourselves. Let me tell you one thing about imposter syndrome. It makes you not be excited about your achievements. You know, now it starts telling us, the first time authors, no, you've just written a chapter in a book. No, you're not really a full author, but I am.
You are.
Yeah, so we have to really celebrate our, you know, our achievements. We have to celebrate the effort and also the courage of just being out there and being able to be vulnerable with our story. And that is a healing point for me.
In fact, that's a lesson for a lot of people, not only just women. Learn to speak about your achievements. It's not a brag. It's you've done it, and you never know which doors it opens into more possibilities. Like taking the show. I think I've told all the women who've been here this week, you guys take this show on the road, because it's impactful. Your stories are impactful. And I was saying, like, each and every one of your stories, you hear them and you look back and you're like, it's literally, it's art imitating life or life imitating art, because it's happening to you, or it's happened to you in one way or another. And the relatability to all your stories is so palpable. It's amazing. That's why even women have who have been watching have been gravitating highly towards the series, because your stories are so real and so relatable. So kudos, first of all, for being willing to be out there and to be vulnerable and to speak. Now, Sianto, your chapter reads, define your day's level of performance. Break it down for us.
So that article was inspired by the seasons that a woman in leadership, we can actually just say also a man, so that we're not leaving them out, seasons that we go through. So there are those seasons when we're out there working, we have a business that is running, we have a job that is running, and then there's also another season where life takes a pause on you. You know, whereby you're now required to just, you're not even required, sometimes you just find yourself there, that your life has taken a pause. You no longer have activities to run during the day. You no longer have an office to go to. You no longer have a business to go to. And you are this woman who is, okay, when I say woman, let's just assume, let's just say, put stroke.
Let's even just go with
so that they don't feel we are leaving them out.
It's okay.
So you're used to having a lot of activities during the day, and now you are at a place whereby you don't even know where to go to. So I found myself in both seasons. Of course, I have a business running, I'm training and I'm coaching people. And also previously when I used to work in the corporate sector, my life was thriving and I was moving and I was so busy. And then I reached a point where I took a break, not intentionally, because we hear this statement that life happens. So it happens. And as a woman in leadership, when you find yourself in that place where a pause has happened, I used to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. because I'm used to waking up early in the morning. I look through the window, I'm just seeing lights on, but
Right.
Sianto has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Have nowhere to go. So at that particular point, you are so confused. You have lost your identity.
Yeah.
With time, you don't even know your value, because the value that you used to wake up and show up and to do, it's no longer there. So your value is just within your vicinity, your room or your house or your sitting room, and it's not a nice place to be.
Yeah.
So that chapter speaks about both seasons, when you're up thriving and now when life has taken a pause on you. So what happens?
I
I
love
found
that.
myself asking myself, what happens? Will I be waking up every day and look through the window? Will I be going back to bed because I have nothing to do, because life has happened, I have taken a pause? Will I be, just cry and be in a victim mentality the whole day? Life is moving, time is moving, it's not waiting for Sianto. So what happens when you're in that space? So I found that I would wake up in the morning and I found myself in that negative space.
Yeah.
I'm feeling bad about myself. I'm beating myself down. I'm saying this can never change for me. Just all the bad things.
Were you seeing the world moving around you at the same time? Because I can so relate.
Yeah.
Were you like, was it at a time where, like social media was just also weighing you down at the same time?
Yes. Now the thing with social media is it comes in. At that particular point, it's like a positive distraction, because you just find yourself moving from one social media to the next. You're just going through it, and you're seeing. Let me just talk about it. You're seeing that people's life are moving. People are maybe they're celebrating. They're saying, "I've gotten a promotion," or they've started a new business, and for you, you're there lost. You don't
Right.
even know what is your next step.
Right.
So I found myself being in that space of just going through the social media, and I thought it's helping me, but it doesn't really help me to come out of that space.
Right.
So my chapter is about when you're in that life pause, when you're in that space of thriving, what are these days hijackers? Because for me, they were hijacking my day. I wake up and
Right.
I'm on social media.
Yeah.
I wake up and I have negative emotions. I wake up and I have fear of people. I wake up and I just felt so lost.
Right.
So I had what I thank God for is that because I'm in that space of personal development, I know what someone needs to do for you to become successful.
Oh, that's nice.
And I realized if I continue staying like this, nobody's coming to pick me up. Actually, my phone, the number of calls reduced. There's this thing, sorry if I'm taking long, but there's this thing about having knowledge about something and understanding of it and experiencing it. So you have the knowledge when people say, by the way, when you're on that season, your phone will stop ringing. Actually, it will.
It will.
So when it happens, now the understanding and the experience happens.
Right.
So this book, my chapter talks about those hijackers. So we have to rise above those days hijackers by defining your day and being intentional by how you show up, so that if you're in that space, you're able to come out of it. And if you are in the space where you're thriving, then you can do more.
Right.
Yeah.
It's finding that balance though. When you were talking, I realized the entire world found themselves in that dry period during COVID. We all found ourselves there, and we all didn't know how to navigate, and a lot of us didn't know how to move forward till now from that season, because you were so used and so set in your ways. And I wake up in the morning, go to work, do this and that and the other, and then things just suddenly changed. And a lot of people found themselves stuck. And mental health now became an issue now that was highly talked about. People's homes now, which used to be a safe haven when you go back home, was no longer safe. And Elishibah, you had mentioned about, times that you've even written and spoken about it. Just delving away from your chapter, you've been able to speak about issues of GBV and SGBV before. How is it to, how are you able to translate, especially for women who have had to go through it during a time of isolation and coming out of it?
Well, I don't know where to begin. The issue of SGB, so sexual and gender-based violence, is such a painful topic, and also such a real topic for
Right.
many women and girls, and also for men and boys. In
Yes.
fact, now we are seeing it becoming more rampant,
Yes.
for men and boys.
Yeah.
And there are so many layers to it. So of course there's the agency. Are you how empowered are people? Do they know where to go for help? Number one. I shared recently in my estate we have a ladies group, and so at work we had they brought this lady who speaks, what's her name? She does she rescues women. I'm just forgetting her name.
Jerry Wamegwe.
Jerry Migui, yes. So when we had a webinar at work that had been organized for the ladies at work,
Yeah.
and the information that we got there, the hotline and all that, I immediately was sharing it in the ladies groups that I'm in. Why? Because many of us sit in the comfort of normalcy, and you never know when that normal will change. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two, a lot of people sometimes don't even know where to go for help. So one of our duties is, if you have information, share it with the people in your circle. Someone might not even thank you publicly, but you've
Yeah.
helped them.
Right.
You've helped them. The other part of it is being able to read the signs, for when is the relationship starting to become abusive, for example. And sometimes we see those signs and we ignore,
Right.
because as they say, love is blind and whatnot. But more importantly, Myra, is for many people who end up being in abusive relationships, and that those abusive relationships could even be family relationships. So
Yeah.
you're being beaten by your father or your mother, not just your partner,
Even sometimes your children.
even, yes, right. So there are people who, and a big part of it is the financial or economic
Yes.
stability or instability. That's what sometimes keeps people there, and that's also what sometimes even rids people of their own dignity. So you even start to think, maybe I deserve this, maybe
Yeah.
I am not worthy. I mean, maybe this is what was written for me. So my hope, actually, and even as we did this, because I was part of the Inuadada group at that time, I think it was 2019, 2020, we were doing some work with Janet Bugwa.
Yeah.
And a big part of that work was really to how do we make people aware of where they can go for help.
Yeah.
And also, how do you build agency in people? So you find, for many of us, maybe we are very confident, and you're confident in who you are, and so you're able to say, no, I'm not, this is not my cup of tea.
Right.
You're even able to get yourself out of harm's way. But that's not the case for many people, and it is our duty to help and equip every
Right.
woman, man, and boy and girl,
Yeah.
to have those tools to be able to get out of those relationships or get out of those situations and seek help.
Right.
The other aspect of it, which you rightly say, during COVID, it happened because, again, people were in close quarters.
Yeah.
Some people were fortunate, of course. The houses maybe are big and everyone is in their room and with their own TV, and you have Wi-Fi. But for majority of people, that was not the case.
Right.
You're suddenly in this one room together, and probably you've lost either your job or your business, and so already the stress levels are high.
Yeah.
So you, even friction happens that never happened before, that never was there before. And the reality of it is that COVID was one such season, but that doesn't mean it won't happen again.
Again.
There'll be many other seasons in our lives, maybe not as worldwide as COVID was, but there'll be many seasons in our lives where things change, where things pause, where situations change. And so the tools that we need, the self-awareness, the self-agency, all those things we need, and we need to build them in the seasons of plenty, in the seasons of peace, in the seasons of activity, because we will need them in the other season. So you don't like when you're what's the word I want to use, even when we say we're saving for a rainy day, you're saving when you have plenty.
Right.
And it's the same way we build ourselves in those seasons. And to Sianto's point, when she talks about what you do in the season of success and what you do in the season of not success,
Yes.
and in the season of success, I think it is so crucial when things are going well, when your friends, family, money, career, health, I mean, whatever your things are, whatever
Right.
you quantify or qualify as success,
Yeah.
that is when you also need to be building yourself and others and those you love
Right.
for the seasons that will not be
Yes.
the case. There'll be a season where you lose loved ones, perhaps, and you never had built that resilience or how to deal with grief. I mean, we have to constantly be preparing
Yeah.
for the seasons of plenty and for the seasons of lack. Yeah.
Rightfully so that you wrote the chapter falling, feeling, and feeding the soul. You've literally just walked right into it. You segued so beautifully. Just that planning. It's already hard thinking about having to plan, especially now when you're a season of family, having your kids. You're always constantly, always, because it's an investment into your family, whether it's even just your husband. Yeah, I always say our husbands are our first child, and then now comes the rest. But you're constantly in that space of having to think about the next day and the next day. In fact, both of your chapters fit into each other because it's all about defining and planning, and of course nobody knows what the future holds. But now, how do you allow yourself, like you said, falling, feeling, and feeling and so, because you have to allow yourself to be able to fall first.
Yeah, so I mean that's the title of my chapter, is falling, feeling, and feeding the soul. And the falling bit, I think we're all familiar with. Failure is inevitable, and I have seen that the best lessons I have learned and the most wisdom I have gained has been probably in those moments when things haven't gone so well, because that's when we draw back into ourselves and ask, what could I have done better? Might I have a gap in my knowledge? Might I have a gap in my character? Because there's two things. There's what you know, but there's also what you are.
Yeah.
And what you are is not static. It can change. It can change, and you can change it.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I have learned, especially probably in my journey of work and leadership. And I talk about it in the chapter as well. Being teachable. Okay, so you cannot be the same person that you were 10 years ago,
Right.
5 years ago. You cannot be making the same mistakes. And I talk about how teachability is a mindset, and it comes with humility. You're not saying you're foolish, but you're saying,
Right.
I don't know everything, and I need to be taught. There are
Right.
things you need to be taught. Recently we were talking about when you have a child as a woman, and I remember when I had my first child, my mom-in-law came, and then my mom came, and there were things they were teaching me that were not in any book. They're not, you need to be taught. There are things you need to learn,
Right.
through the seasons that you go through in life. And the teachability, I think, is also a very good mindset to have, because it removes some of that arrogance that we get, especially as we go higher in our careers or in our business or in whatever field we are in. So that's the bit that is very crucial in the falling. And why I talk about falling is because I think the way I would describe my journey is there have been very many successes and very many what shall I say, accolades that I'm so grateful for.
Right.
But within them, there's always something that I think, oh my gosh, I didn't do. I ended up hurting somebody,
Right.
or I ended up fumbling this opportunity that I had, or I ended up letting down a group, that was relying on me for something.
Right.
And it's very easy to beat yourself over it, and I do. I do. And but also, what is the lesson? What's the lesson? So the lesson part, because this book is a lot about the lessons and insights from women who lead. The feeling part, falling and feeling, is about leading with your heart and leading with empathy and compassion and sympathy. So I'll give you the example where I work at Kengen. We have scholarship programs, right? So education scholarship programs.
Yeah.
And you interact with students, you're interacting with parents, you're interacting with communities. So when a parent calls and tells me, and I say, I need you to send me your fee structure, the fee structure for your child. This parent tells you their phone does not have WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reality.
Yeah.
So I cannot be like, you just figure it out how you're going to send me that document. I don't. No. My goal is to get that fee statement so that we can pay the fees for this child whose life we are changing, so that he or she can also impact other lives. Bigger picture, right? So my role there, my leadership role, is to guide this parent. Say, maybe you can go to a cyber, maybe you can get someone else to scan this document for you. That's the empathy and the compassion, and the leading with your heart and mind as well, and being able to think, to see people as humans when they're coming to you, and when you're leading humans. When you see your team having maybe they're not performing, the leading with empathy is trying to go under and find out, okay, so what else is going on? And then you discover this person is dealing with a sick parent, or their relationship was on the rocks, or something is happening that is affecting them and the way that they perform, and they can't separate themselves from it. So as leaders, the feeling part becomes very important. Of course, we need to lead with our mind, but I strongly believe the heart has to be there.
Exactly.
And the feeding the soul, I think I've already talked about it. It's
In
just
fact, we'll delve into that. We need to go on a small break and then delve deeper into that. But the feeling part, as in, even, just that being an empath, you find you're able to, for the results you want, you desire to get out of somebody, you're able to get a lot more through just understanding and then guiding them in the way you think would help them.
And putting yourself in their shoes.
And putting yourself in their shoes. Like, I think we talked about this entire week, Gen Zs are the biggest expressors of their feelings. They don't hold back. In fact, when we're coming back to talk about two things, the feeling and the feeding, because I think we still need to just delve a little bit deeper into that. We are talking with the authors of The Way She Leads. If you do have any questions or comments, we share this up on WhatsApp number +254 788 380030, as well as our YouTube comment section. Would love to hear from you. Keep it right here on The Breakfast Jam as we continue on with the series. Doing their version of Pombe Sigara, let me tell you, the voices that emanate from that group, they just evoke just the soulfulness of like the 70s and the 80s in their band doing it today. Of course, putting Kenya on the map with rock music. For those who don't know, rock is alive and thriving in Kenya. and you need to just put yourself in the know because guys are doing amazing things creatively and musically. We are the Breakfast Jam, and we got Mariam Malova. We are continuing on, or actually finalizing this amazing series of women in leadership. We've been doing it throughout the week. Had amazing women turned authors who have proudly come to tell us their stories. And of course, I appreciate each of your stories and vulnerability as you tell them. So thank you for being willing to share. We have with us the publisher who has joined in the conversation. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so very much. My name is Dooso Radido. I am the founder and director of Sianto Publishers, the team behind this amazing work that we are doing here. So our mission is pretty simple: shine a spotlight on those who have not been highlighted before, pick from their experiences and their lessons as a way of informing the ongoing conversations and even informing the kind of intervention that we are coming up with, because as long as we are not listening to the ground, then whatever we are trying to put down there as interventions will never work. And if it does work, we will have to really struggle with it.
Right.
That's it.
Before we get into the vision you had for this book and putting these women together, we were talking about Elishibah's chapter, Falling, Feeling, and Feeding the Soul. We talked about falling. We wanted to just talk about kidogo into feeling. Now, with feeling, it has changed. And let me tell you, if there's one person who has seen it for himself and in the most toughest of ways, is the one at the top, the president, because he saw feelings emanating throughout the year.
That's right.
And probably he was over there shell-shocked as to how this could be happening. But a lot of us also are witnessing it in the workplace. We're witnessing it in our homes. The way of communicating has changed. How then do we adapt to that change of the people that we're dealing with and adapting to their feelings to be able to get the optimal results out of it?
I think that the leading with empathy becomes very important, but I think part of it is always interrogating the genesis of whatever people are feeling. So anytime, for example, I see somebody on TV speaking and maybe their home has been, burnt down, for example,
Right.
and they're crying. So what they're feeling is, of course, there's sadness, there's frustration, there's despair, there's all those things. And that's what you need to address. Even some of the anger we saw, for example, with the Gen Zs, it's because it's expectations have not been met.
Right.
There's a disappointment with the leadership.
Right.
In the workplace, I would say that it's always important. For example, if somebody is exhibiting, like I said, signs of maybe lethargy, they've started to not be as excited about the work,
Right.
or even their attitude has become negative. I think it's always important to interrogate what's the underlying root of
Right.
that. And I think it's a big part of performance management as well. When you start seeing a team either not doing what they used to do, or not pulling together like they used to, it is a sign. It's a sign of something else that is happening.
Right.
There are times when what somebody is expressing, for example, they've started maybe to have an attitude, what we call an attitude. So you can't tell them anything.
Yeah.
It might be stemming from how much you've praised them. Maybe they now feel they know everything, so you maybe have to interrogate as a team leader or as a team, how do we give feedback in a way that still leaves room for somebody to grow, so they don't feel like they've reached. There's a lot of organizations also now have the mental health aspect,
Yes.
where people can actually speak to somebody, because we've seen people jumping off buildings,
Yes.
which is very sad. We've seen people resorting to alcohol or substance abuse just because they don't have a way of coping
Right.
with life. And that's why the tools become so important, Myra. And when I say the tools, I'm talking about the how you build resilience, how you build your ability to cope with the disappointments, because all these are part of life. As rosy as we'd love life to become, are there opportunities for people to share and talk about what they're doing, what they're feeling or how they're doing. The other aspect is for work environment, again, because that's what we're talking about. Do people get breaks, or are we going from project to project to project, bam, bam, bam? Do we have some form of appreciation when something has been completed? We finish, we appreciate people, and then we go to the next project, because those are some of the things that end up affecting people's morale. When somebody is having something going wrong at home or on the home front, you may not, as the team leader, necessarily be able to solve it, but you can link them to someone. You can link them to HR, you can link them to, I don't know, finance, whatever it is, maybe the issue it is, because that's what is going to also impact the performance of your team. And I've seen this even as a parent as well, being able to read what your children are feeling, what your spouse is feeling, and where is it coming from, and being sensitive to that. There's leadership in that. There's leadership in being able to read that and respond to it, and respond to what is underlying. And sometimes you don't have the necessary tools, but you can refer. You can take someone, you can refer them to someone, maybe a counselor, somebody who is more trained and professional in that field. The feeding the soul is what we are talking about, for example, social media, and what are you feeding yourself? Those things, man, they impact you. I mean, from morning to night, you wake up and boom, you're seeing, I am excited to announce that I have now, and I'm moving to Greece. I mean, whatever, man, Santorini, I don't know. There's so much, right? And we have to be so intentional and careful of what we are feeding our minds and our souls. And we also must have the responsibility. We are responsible for ourselves to a large extent. We say macho hayana pazia, you can't cover the eyes, but to a large extent there are some things that you can move away from. You can leave some groups, you can block some people if they've stopped serving you. There's a time I lost my job. I guess everybody and their mother has a story of losing a job, but so there's a time I lost my job just before COVID. So I usually say I wasn't working from home during COVID. I was jobless from home during COVID. And I had remained I was looking at the statuses of my former colleagues. And so before COVID, so they were going for all these workshops, and they're posting their certificates, and they're having a social event, and it's exactly what I want to do, where I want to be. And it was draining me. It was making me more and more, depressed and sad. And my husband told me, you need to stop looking at those statuses. You need to leave some of those groups, because I remained in some of the groups because I didn't want to lose the relationships, because some were friends beyond just being colleagues. But at the end of the day, it was doing something to my soul. It was tearing away at me and at my soul. And I had to actively leave some of those groups and block some of those statuses, not because they are doing anything wrong, but because of the space I was in. It was not healthy, and that's not what I needed. And so sometimes we need to do that, and it doesn't have to be offensive. It's not a fight. It's just that for this season of my life, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. And also, when you've moved away from that, the question is, what are you replacing it with? So what is the content that you're consuming? What are you reading? What are you watching?
That's important.
If I take someone's phone and we look at your feed, it affects you. It affects how you show up, how you experience life, how you live. Some of it limits you, because you're following small-minded things and small-minded people, if there's such a thing. So the feeding the soul is something intentional. It's something continuous. It's something that never ends. and that's why I said who we are is not static. Who we are is constantly changing, and
and
it can
evolving.
and evolving, and we have to be intentional about it.
Man, that is very, very true.
Yeah.
Sianto, then, with that being said, how do we now tie this in to be able to get the best out of our performance? Because, like you said, now define your days. It's hard. Again, it's the being intentional about it. The intention is always right. Like, tomorrow I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But then you sometimes don't reach it. How do you stop yourself from feeling down about it? And then how do you plan on now getting the best out of your performance?
Yes. So how do you define your day's level of performance? It starts by having a time schedule. If you don't schedule your day, those feeds that she's talking about, those groups that she's talking about will actually hijack your day.
Right.
So it starts by being having a vision for your life. If it's work, what do you want to achieve from there? So you work from having the end in mind, then you work from there. So you have to also come up with habits that supports where you're going to. That is how you get in control of your life. Because, for example, you want to lose weight, and you don't have a schedule or a nutrition that you're following. And then the pizza we are talking about, this is a good pizza for the book, the one you're talking about. But now you get enticed by other things that really are not supporting where you want to go.
Right.
So human beings, yes, the way she has said, we are very malleable. Like, we have the capacity to grow, but also we have the capacity to pick up things that don't really work for us. So how do we have that in control? Is being intentional. Is being aware of what is happening around you.
Right.
You can no longer just work from a point whereby you are allowing that autopilot space. You have to move from that space so that by the end of the day you have something to celebrate about. Because also, if you don't do that, by end of the day you'll feel like it has been a terrible day. Why? You did not achieve anything. There's nothing really tangible you can see.
Right.
Why? How did you start the day? How even did you start your day from the previous evening? Did you have a plan for the day? So it has to be very, very intentional on how you want your end to be.
Right.
Because when you have a good ending, then you'll be motivated for tomorrow. So that is how you then your day.
So working backwards.
Yes.
Start with the end result,
Then you
work yourself out from there.
Yes. And also for me, in the chapter I've spoken about the hijackers. Yes.
I like that word. The things that hijack your
they
day.
hijack you. And one that was very that really affected myself is about the fear of people's opinion that I've captured in the book. And how I make my clients just to discover if they're in that trap is I just ask them to picture this. If there was no one in this world, there was no one surrounding you, what would you do today?
Right.
If there was nobody to judge you, if you're just using your own creativity to run your day and to define your day, how will it be? So from that space, you start defining your day and coming up with the habits, coming up with the task that is aligned to that, to your creativity, but not starting off your day when it's aligned with people's opinion. Maybe what someone said about you, maybe last month, maybe someone just mentioned that you're not intelligent.
Right.
And that fed into your soul. Just what she said. It feeds into your soul. And let me tell you, as much as you might tell yourself, okay, let me ignore that statement, that's not me. Do you know when you are in a corporate setting, for example, if it's in a meeting, and people are discussing a particular issue, and then you're not able to speak up because there's that voice that is whispering to you, you're not smart, you're not intelligent, so you keep quiet. So that is a hijacker of the day. Fear of people's opinion, and it gets stuck to you. So this is what I'm saying, let's rise above. So in the book, there's a lot of the tools and the ways, how do you break out of that? So in my chapter, all those things I've listed as hijackers, there's also a way to break free. So I'm just urging
Guys,
all
to
of
get
us
the
to
book.
read.
Yes,
Yeah.
no spoilers.
Yes.
So you brought this project together. What prompted you?
Well, you see, I've been an ardent follower of the conversation around diversity, equity, inclusion, etc. And then there's one thing I know for sure. We live in the same world, it's men and women, but we don't experience it the same way. I never knew that until the day I started having conversations with women. And I have, for the last 3 years, I think, almost every single day I've spoken to a woman. That's a lot of data. And I ask questions, I listen to what they're saying, etc. So from where I sit, I know for sure we are not in the same world. The way
So you just openly let them talk and you sit back and listen.
yes, you
That's
see,
a lot.
you see the things they're saying, and I like what she just said about. Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
about sending leadership into how people feel. Who looks at leadership that way?
Right.
Because traditionally we've looked at leadership from the lenses of men, and then we think leader is boss, leader is top, leader is up there, taking care of the big things. But it's possible to actually send leadership into the tiny things that really, form the fabric of who we are, because that affects how we show up and how we deploy ourselves around assignments, etc. So when the conversations about inclusion and women involvement, etc., are going on, every time we make the mistake of measuring things up using the male standard,
Right.
which is why we keep getting it wrong all the time. If you look at the conversation around the 2/3 gender rule, we understand that thing quantitatively by the numbers.
Right.
And you see, that's a male mind. We look at the general things, the figures. So they will tell you, we have 3 women in the board. That's enough. So the question that somebody should ask is, what is the quality of that? How much power do they wield? Do they actually feel like they have any power? And when they speak, do people care to listen what they are saying about? And when they have spoken and people have listened, do we take what they are saying seriously?
Right.
Do we really understand what it means to be a woman? Because you see, if we don't really understand what that really means, there is no intervention we are putting up that will work. For example, you know that the 2/3 gender rule is not working. We are just lying to ourselves. Actually, we are doing things to just satisfy the legal requirements,
Right.
so that we are not caught off the whatever.
It's good on paper.
So we'll make appointments here, and then we'll position people in front of camera and say, you see,
Right.
it's working.
Yes, we're doing it.
Yes, but if you look at the actuality of that, actually it's not working. We still have a huge lot of women who are still feeling suffocated.
Right.
They are still feeling ignored. They're still feeling like their voice is not being heard,
Yeah.
despite all the noise that they make. So this project creates a platform where we can actually begin to amplify that voice. Because if we put it in a book, we'll force people to interact with it longer. These books will be here 100 years from now. I'm sure these books will be on somebody's shelf someday, and people will be reading,
Right.
and they'll be getting that.
It's a great manual, actually.
Yes. When we package it this way, we can send it to boardrooms, we can send it to classrooms, we can send it anywhere we want it to go. Because when it comes this way, it has very, very little feminine threat. When we send her, they will say, here comes a woman.
Interesting.
But when we send this, they'll say, this is a book, no problem.
Right.
Let's read the book.
Right.
And then you'll begin to interact with their wisdom, you'll begin to interact with their concerns, you'll begin to interact with their aspirations, and hopefully people will begin to understand.
Right.
Because this has never happened. This has never happened. The few that got the opportunity to document what they know are either very prominent people or people that the media has picked interest in.
Right.
How about people like these ones who have lots of wisdom you've had for yourself?
So
Plenty
much
of
so.
insights. And a lot of it has been buried for many, many years. So what I know about women is that we underraise them, we underemploy them, we undermarry them, but then eventually we overbury them. So the one thing that happens about women is overburying. We bury everything about them, but when they're still alive, we don't exhaust everything they brought.
I I'm gonna cut this out and put it just out there so that it spread, so that
Yes.
people get to understand
Yes.
more. Because what you said is actually really profound, and coming from a man, it's refreshing to hear. How did you find all these incredible women? Because let me tell you, the privilege of hearing them talk, other than just reading the book, is it's something else.
Yeah.
How did you manage to, and how did you? What is the process like picking them for the book?
Well, we actually began to hunt them down, and I'm using the word hunting so
Yeah.
so intentionally,
Right.
because there are so many exceptional women out here doing amazing things in small pockets of places, and they are found all over the place, everywhere they are there, but none of us is talking about them because they are not big enough to be talked about. You know, that's one of the biggest problems we have as a society.
Right.
That somebody has to be big enough for us to talk about them. We do not know how to make them big and then talk about them, or just
Right.
go down where they are and talk about them, because there is greatness within them. You see. So we began to look for them, and we have a target of reaching to about 10,000 of them. That's a huge community of people.
Yeah.
So we have largely used LinkedIn, because in LinkedIn it's very, very good because people are already talking about themselves. So you just pick it from where they have left it.
Right.
I am so and so, this is what I do, and this is the kind of stuff I do. Of course, you can even follow their thoughts through the things that they post, etc.
Yeah.
So we reached out to these ones, and interesting statistics coming out of that as well. So many women out here doing amazing things, but they don't even believe in themselves. If you tell them, by the way, this is who you are, they don't even believe. They ask you, you mean I'm that big? So you ask yourself, well, you've never known, yet you've lived with yourself all this while.
Right.
So many of them have been conditioned in such a way that they actually have to be reminded that you are great, that you can do this thing. And some of them have to be told that, you know what, this is who you are and it looks nice. Most of them will actually brush that thing off and say, it's soft, you're just flattering me. But it's not flattery, it's true.
Right.
It looks like a flattery until it comes into a book like this and somebody reads and say, wow, this is wise. This is beautiful. So we reached out to them and we spoke to so many of them. These ones are the ones who said yes. Interestingly, many women do not know how to say yes.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only area they're doing very good with their yeses is the relationship, marriage stuff. That's not the only yes you can do. There are millions of yeses. Opportunities require yeses. Promotions require yeses. Greatness require yeses. You know, anything you desire to achieve, if you don't show up with a yes first, I'm telling you, it will not be a reality
That
in
is
your
true.
life. So these ones said yes. And look at what's going on. Even we didn't even know that we'll be in a studio like this.
Right.
But it's all riding on that yes that they gave us, and then we also said yes to them, and we said yes to the process, and here we are.
Right.
Interesting.
Did it turn out the way you had hoped?
Well, yes, it did. But of course, I am still a frustrated man because I would have wanted to see a lot more women than what we are seeing today.
Okay.
Do you know why that's very important? That's very important because we are limited in time. We are actually inching very, very close to burying a lot of resources. And I'm going
Right.
to use that word again very intentionally.
Right.
If we don't exhaust it, it will be buried. That is where it ends
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
And there are things that we carry in ourselves that are actually investments that should go into the future, into the next generation. It's okay to make your life comfortable, but it is not okay for you to deny the next generation a bit of that investment
Right.
that you came to this world to actually deposit so somebody can ride on that.
Yeah.
You see, if your parents didn't spend a bit of their lives into you, you probably would not be here today. So many of them are still not willing to get out of that shell because they are comfortable with being women.
Right.
I spoke to a lady the other day and she told me one of the biggest problems that women have is that they are fantasizing this whole idea of being women and they are wasting a lot of time in that.
Wow.
That is so huge coming from a woman. Wow. You see? Because women have constructed things around themselves that actually denies them the opportunity to actually show up and leave. Most of them are not actually leaving,
Right.
you know. So my frustration comes from the fact that I wanted more yeses than we have seen today, because we are actually behind schedule. For a 60-year-old nation like this,
Right.
we should have a lot more of this conversation going on,
True.
and we should have a lot more of the resourcefulness of women being tapped into.
Yeah.
How can we be fighting them when we are 60? I expect a 60-year-old person to have good understanding of life and things, and know this is a resource. I should not be fighting it, because I'm telling you, until we come to a place where the gender fight stops, we are still wasting ourselves, and that is affecting both us and the generations that are coming after us.
I love it. It's great to hear your insights and why you came together with this. I love the fact that you said that we are burying our resources. That is a great statement in itself, because yes, we do not have the luxury of time, and with each fleeting day we are leaving with us whatever we have gained. And I hope for more projects like this, because it's amazing for the wisdom that you guys impact, and it's from your own lives.
That's right.
That you bring this together. And even I was telling them, like, they should really take this thing on the road, like
Oh, it should.
yeah, because it has inspired so many people this week, and it's just from the couple of hours that we've had speaking here. And a lot of people require a lot more, and there are people who are actually hungry for what they have to say. So, man, kudos for this project. It's an amazing thing that you've done. I wish we had more time to be able to speak further, but you're welcome anytime to the studio to at least continue to give us the gems that you've been dropping all week. Now, for the launch of the book, when is it happening?
Well, we have the launch coming up on the 1st of November, which is next week on Friday, from 2 p.m. at the Trademark Hotel. We are so honored to have Eva Moriah gracing the occasion. And what I like about this is that it's going to be an environment where a lot more women will be woken up. I really want to see people woken up. You see, when I was young, one of the most important things that my mother did to me was wake me up. Just wake me up. One day I asked my mom, why don't you allow me to sleep? She told me, if I let you sleep, days will come and go, and you will never know that they came and went, and you will never actually be able to contribute to them.
Right.
There are so many women who are still sleeping. They are sleeping in this shell called a woman that has been defined by society, etc. So that day is going to be an exciting day, because there are some people who will pick their ignition from there. And when somebody has caught fire, they become dangerous. They become very dangerous, and that's when they actually begin to contribute to life. If you look at the generational impact of waking people up, I'm telling you, for example, whoever took James Mwangi to school and supported him to become who he is today, God bless them. Right. Look at what James is doing, and look at how many families are going to be affected, not just now, but look at the generational impact of that. So what we are doing today, in my opinion, is going to have a very huge generational impact. There are some prominent women that will come up because of the ignition that they will pick from this.
100%.
Some of them are even picking it from the conversation we had, because we don't know what this signal is doing to somebody, whoever they are, whatever they are listening.
100%. What do we look forward to on the day? You've just ignited us with it. Like, you must come to this event. What can we look forward to on that day? Are we going to be having more conversations around the book?
Yes, we will have, and you see, these are two of them. There are 13.
13, yeah.
I know you've had an opportunity to interact with some of them here. That day we'll have all of them in the house.
Wow.
What I know for sure is that we will not have enough time, because the amount of time we are planning and the amount of things we want to do, they can't match. But whoever can make it, just come and interact with these people. Some of you will actually be provoked just by seeing that these are people who just look like me. Some of them come from the kind of tribe that I come from. Some of them are just as tall as I am, or as short as I am, or as energetic as I am, or as reserved as I am. So we do not know what exactly somebody will have to to touch, to be woken up.
Right.
So whoever is listening to this, and this is open to both the male people and the female people.
So it's open to the public.
Yeah, it's open to the public.
Okay.
Because you see what? When they have woken up and they look nice, we end up marrying them, we end up working with them, they end
Right.
up being our sisters and brothers, our mothers, etc. So it's for the benefit of everybody. And that's why for me, I really take it so seriously, because this good we are sending into them will still come back to us.
Where can people get the tickets for the event?
Well, we have lots of information about how to register. Mostly, we are very vibrant on LinkedIn, so the registration link is there, etc. I wish I could be able to share it here right now. But if somebody visits our page on LinkedIn, Zaunpal Publishers, or the pages of any of these ladies,
Right.
all that information is out there.
Actually, the ladies have been sharing a lot on LinkedIn, and we've been able to repost. So if you're watching, you can follow them directly
Yes.
and get the information
Any
there.
of them, because they are very vibrant, and I like the noise that they are making out
Yes.
here. It's so noisy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They even built my profile up a bit. Thank you so much. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And let me tell you, you have made superstars out of these women. They have a special place in somebody's heart. Whoever you've touched them deeply.
Yes.
And I've gotten calls throughout the week.
Wow.
There's one point where there was an entire administration office listening to the women who came in one day, on one of the days this week. So do not underestimate what you have done, because it has empowered a lot of people who have this, not only women but also men,
the men,
in
that's
different
right.
ways. This has just been an amazing project. I am so honored to have been having you all in studio. Looking forward to how far this book goes, and how far it will take a lot of people in this country and change their mindset and some of the ways that they lead their lives. Thank you so much. Peter Bomba says, great conversation, 100%. We hope to have more. We'll be looking to host more next week in our different shows, but you're welcome back to the studio anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've been having the publisher and the authors of The Way She Leads. I like her because you can see it right there in full view. It looks like one big book on screen. You can find it for yourselves. I hear it's also on Amazon now. You can buy it on Amazon. People are already pre-buying them. So you can buy them globally from wherever you are. Get yourself a copy. Do not borrow from me because I will not share. Just get yours. How much is one?
2,500 bob.
2,500. It will be a very special case for you to borrow from me, but just buy yours for 2,500, quite an affordable price. And of course, get to learn more from these ladies. It's The Way She Leads, insights and lessons from the lives and experiences of women who lead. We'll be back right after this. Keep it right here on The Breakfast Jam. We are finishing off with the interview this morning. Thank you so much for being here, waking up again quite early to be here with us. Of course, imparting so much wisdom. Parting shots. Let's start with Sianto.
Yes, my parting shot is that as women in leadership, let's be like the sons of Issachar, that we understand the seasons. Those are the times and what we ought to do. Yeah. So how do you understand the season? That now I'm in the season of thriving, I have a business that I'm running, and this is what I'm required to do. I still need to define my day's level of performance.
Right.
If you're in that life pause season, you understand that that is a season that currently I'm dealing with. So what do I need to do?
Right.
I need to define my day's level of performance. Why? So that your true capacity, your true potential is actually exuded from your day, and you are able to experience the results that really are deserving to be seen based on your capacity.
Right.
Not based on your circumstances.
Yes.
Not based on your hijackers, the day's hijackers, but on your true capacity. Let it come out. by defining your day's level of performance.
Right. And not overburdening yourself. The performance also should be about, like I said, how much you're able to do.
Yes.
Times we don't know how to do that.
Yes, but how do you know how to do that? Is by having a release system in a day. How do you release? Because during the day you are faced with so many things. So you must have a system of releasing that burnout, days burnout. You don't need to wait for a whole month. So it's just having the systems in place as an individual, have a bit of self-love. I've also spoken about that. In a day, can you love yourself? It's a way of releasing the pressures of the day.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's a lesson I need to learn as well. Elishibah, what is your parting shot?
I'll call it brevity and bravery.
Okay.
Brevity is just for us to remember how short life is. It comes from the word brief. And one of the things I mentioned in my chapter is that I lost my dad at a very young age. When he was very young, he was not even 40. So and we were very young, and my mom was very young. And it took, and I think part of that has always been in my back, at the back of my mind, that life is short and it can be snuffed out at any moment. And that's one of the positive things I would say that has come out of that, is that I choose to live life fully, daily, and that would be my encouragement to everyone, that we live life. You're gonna die anyway, so make it worthwhile. Whatever position you're in, whatever talents, capacities you have, make full use of them, and not just for yourself. I keep insisting on this. It has to be for the others. The bravery part, and I usually celebrate my mom because it took a lot of bravery for her to raise us. But the bravery part is very linked to the falling part, in the falling of the title of my chapter. That it takes bravery to try, even when you're afraid that you might fail, that you might fall, that you might fall again, that you might be embarrassed. I am a Toastmaster, and I happen to be president of my club, SEMA Toastmasters, and we are now in what we call contest season. And one of the things we are trying to do is to encourage people to participate in the contest. And for a lot of people, I think the limitation is, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Am I even that good that I can compete?
Right.
But because life is about bravery, it's just put yourself out there. And then as a leader, my role is to ensure that once you've said yes, then I equip you. This is what you need to do to prepare. And I'm giving the contests or the Toastmasters as just an analogy, but I think that's our role in leadership, is to equip more people to say yes, like what Dooso was talking about. Our ability to say yes to this project is hinged very largely on other people who said yes before. I know for a fact that I spoke to an author who was part of the previous series, and she gave me the bravery, and I was like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So the brevity of life should inspire us to be brave, to take risks, to be teachable, like we were talking about, and also to make sure that our leadership is in the service of others, so that when finally you die, there's that book by Robin Sharma, Who Will Die When You Cry? Who will cry? Well, yeah, hopefully. Who will cry when you die? And actually the book is not about death. Most people, when you see the title, you think that's what it's about, but it's really about whose lives are you touching, who will miss you genuinely, and I mean beyond like your family, because they'll miss you. Who will say, Sianto did this for me, Elishibah did this for me, Myra did this for me. And we have those opportunities every day to do that for others, for each other, for ourselves, but for each other. So the bravery and the brevity. Yeah.
I like that. Nice. Very nice. Parting shots.
Well, there is a word that we use a lot. I think all religions use it. The word Amen. Amen simply means let it be so, or permit it to be so. I think one of the things that was in the mind of God when He was deploying us here, He wanted us to be amen people. Amen means say yes. Say yes to things. Say yes to life. Say yes to greatness. Say yes to friendships. Say yes to being resourceful. Say yes to productivity. Say yes to partnerships. And in this context, let's say yes to the resourcefulness that women bring to life.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, beyond the female container they have, these people are creative. These people are kind. These people are empathetic. They carry good energy. They carry warmth. They carry life. They carry ideas. They carry good productivity. We must say yes to it. And my challenge to the listeners is please begin to accept and work with the resourcefulness that is found within these women, because women are a huge resource that if empowered and permitted, can actually move almost every aspect of our lives forward. The economy can benefit, our society can benefit, our places can benefit, our families can benefit, and there is something beautiful that can come out of that. So anybody who's listening to us today, I want you to be amen people. Just say amen to it, and then watch the miracles coming after that.
Love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. We look forward to your events on the 1st of November at the Trademark Hotel. It is open to everyone. Follow all these amazing ladies to get more details on that. All right. Thank you so much for being with us here
Thank you.
on the Breakfast Jam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.